Salutations! My name's Kartosael, and well, that was all. Welcome back to another episode of the Dark Trilogy mod pack. Last episode we did a lot of work on industrial craft. We will get back to that on a later date. I did kind of change up the animal pen. They were glitching through these fences as they always do. It means not really the fault of carpenter's block here, it's just they do that in Vanilla 2. And I made it look a bit nice-ish. Our horse is down there. Not the best place, I agree, but actually we should at least mark that. But it's his place. So I made the sword, the Elucidator, with the increased construct. It has 15 attack damage, 2 quartz modifiers, which just add damage. Still 2 remaining. I made the blade out of man metal because it's the most damaging. I made the handle out of alumite because, well, it has a pretty good handle modifier, so it does a lot of good for the durability, but it also has reinforced 2. Obsidian does have reinforced 3. However, it has a very crummy, you can see it over here, very crummy handle modifier, 0.8. And I gave it a paper handguard. Could have given an obsidian handguard, and a manual tool rod. It would still have reinforced 3, much like this one has. But I wanted the paper handguard because that means I can add 1 extra modifier to a total of 4. It now has 2 used, so 2 still available. Made a hatchet, also made a bow, but the bow got destroyed. This is a beta pack, but Project Red has just been flat out removed from the pack. I'm happy I didn't do anything with Project Red. So some materials might have actually been from Project Red. Let's take a look. Well, it doesn't seem like everything is missing, because that would have left a hole in my chest. So it didn't work with Project Red yet. So I'm not missing anything, really. However, Tinker's construct has been updated and it has introduced quite a few new things. Mainly a complete rework of ranged weaponry. Oh, bacon. So you now, instead of just short bows, which were much like the normal bows, I have no idea what you can make out of thaumium? Can you? I don't know. Instead of just short bow, which is much like what you always have from vanilla. Now also have... Oh, it actually shows it 3 strings. Regardless, you have long bows now, and short bows, and crossbows, and shuriken, and throwing knives. So there's a lot, and javelins, there's a lot of cool platinum. Lots of cool stuff, but how about big iron stuff actually looks different from all the others. That's funny. Never noticed that. Not I'm really interested in big iron. So we're going to look at that at a later date, later episode. Because right now, as I mentioned in the last episode, we're going to get into the magic. So, let's get magical. Lovely. Because one of the items I want is called a Sojourner's Sash. So, it requires a lot of stuff we know absolutely nothing about, because it's all from Botania. And the Sojourner Staff, if you are familiar with Thaumcraft, is much like the Boots of Walking. So it increases our movement speed, our jump height, and allows us to move up 1 height blocks without the need to jump. However, with regards to the 4 Traveler's Boots of the Traveler from Thaumcraft, it's not as potent, but it's easier to get, relatively. With the small point you need to get into Botania. First off, you need a Lexica Botania, which is much like Encyclopedia Britannia, but very different. Now you get this fairly easy by combining any sapling with a book. And where does it hide itself? I've no, like, where is it? Where is it? Oh, just space. Fair enough. So any sapling with just an ordinary book will do. And you get this thing. Now, the great advantage of Thaumcraft is that because of its research system, it eases you into the mod, whereas this is more like, here you go, here is everything in the mod right in your face. I really do hate that. And if I wasn't making this series where I want to dabble in as many mods as I could, I would probably have, upon seeing this, skipped the whole Britannia stuff and went straight for Thaumcraft. However, as I already mentioned, I want to have some diversity, if at all possible. So I looked up some videos and whatnot, so I could get a basic clue of what is actually going on. I need those. Actually, I'm going to put a workbench there anyway, might as well have done that. Bit silly today. Well, actually every day. And let's get you down. There we go. So I've been collecting... Oh, why did you do that? Stupid thing. I've been collecting these mystical flowers. There are 16 in total, I believe. Then why do I have 17? Because this one is not Britannia flower. Be gone. It's just an extra biomes flower. So these flowers form the basis really of all you're going to do. Now, in Thaumcraft you don't really have any source of power, but let's take industrial craft for an example. You have electricity, electronic units you use. We have something quite similar in Britannia, and that's mana. Those are familiar with, well, any RPG have seen that before. So we need a mana pool. We need a place to store mana. Now you get this from throwing it diluted mana pool into a diluted mana pool. So how do we get that? Living stone. How do we get that? Well, apparently it's not as easy as just... It doesn't store the recipe in NEI, which is kind of a pity. However, we should be able to look in our book. Mana pool. So let's see how we can get that. Living stone. Shift click to see recipe. And it starts talking about some kind of flower and a pedestal. So how do we get a pedestal? Alright, that's fairly easy. We need some cobble and a petal, which is just any flower. Right, we can do that. We can crush flowers, guys. We can do that. Let's take this one because I have the most of those. We get 2 petals. Because why not? Let's put one in there. So we need this. Alright, it detects the chest. I completely forgot about that. And now we have a petal apothecary. Now I'm going to rearrange all of this into a much better configuration. Eventually. Not right now. So it's going to be a bit suboptimal to begin with. Well, this is a very annoying place. Let's put it... Well, I guess we could just place it down over there. Now, right now it doesn't really do much because it needs water. Not too difficult. Frankly, I have water nearby. Let's see if we can sleep because I do not want to get attacked. And they are busy with constructions yet again. I have no idea when that will finally end because it's been going on for months. You don't have to knock harder. Well, apparently you do. Sorry. Oh, this is really annoying. Well, Sadly enough, I can't do much about it. Actually, I'm going to pause for a bit and see if it goes away. So we now have the petal apothecary. And we needed... no, we had this one. We needed... Right, we had an apothecary. We need to throw in 4 mystical white petals. So take 2 of these flowers, crush them, and throw them in, I guess. Yeah, and there's only one thing I forgot, and that's I need a seed. There you go. Actually got one on demand. There we go, we have a pure daisy. Now what do we do with this? We place it down somewhere. Let's say we put it, I don't know, here. Sure. This is the most basic and necessary flower we can make in Botania. Which is almost all about flowers. And we put logs around it. I do not know if fur logs work. Oh, it does. It shows a nice little particle effect. And then we give it a bit of time. Ah, there we go. So after surrounding it with logs, the logs after about a minute or so turn into living wood, which is a very important material in Botania. Same goes for living rock, except it doesn't work with cobble, I believe. Yeah, no, you need smooth stone. So I'm going to create some living rock and be right back. And here we have some living rock. I made another pure daisy, just to speed up the production of those materials when we need them. So now we should be able to make a mana pool. Yes, we can. So let's just, I don't know, place it somewhere over here. It's looking very pretty, but as you can see, it doesn't really have any mana. So in order to get that started, we need several things. One of these is a wand of the forest. I believe I need 3 twigs and 2 flowers, 2 petals. Considering the magic mods in Feed the Beast are usually associated with blue, I'm gonna stick with blue for this time. There we go. Got the blue on there. So now I have a wand of the forest. Whatever good that may do us, well, it allows us to see lots of things like diluted mana pool, unknown status, it's empty. Accepting mana from items, sparing mana to items, that's not important, not by a long shot. Well, it's important, but not right now. First off, we need to get mana into our pool. To do that, we need to generate mana. Now, one way to do it, see, there are a lot of ways. One of them is a daybloom, because hey, this is a hippie mod, so we need generating flora. These create mana, whereas functional flora use mana to do stuff. So daybloom is the most easy, because it's actually like a solar panel, except for mana. So you need to place them in a cross pattern, and you need 2 yellow leaves, light blue and orange. Make sure it's a light blue, because if you use any other kind of blue, you're just doing it wrong. I do like how you can see them swimming around in there. And then you just add another seed. There we go. Any seed will do. I tried flax and cotton seeds and they too work. So that's nice. Luckily I made some extra. So the advantage of these is if you place them wrong, you will see. So you can see they have light particles. They should not have those particles. So that's a nice way of knowing that you are screwing it up. So now we are generating mana. Lovely. However, as you can see, mana is storing up in the day blooms by the bar not being completely empty anymore, but not in here. Bother. So we need another little thing for that called a mana spreader. That's in here. Spreader. We need 6 living wood. 16 gold ingots. Was that just a error? Any petal? I don't think I have 6 living wood. I do not. I'm going to make some more living wood and be right back. Alright, so thankfully you do not need 16 gold ingots. 1 will do to get ourselves a little mana spreader. Let me store these in here. So what this does, the mana spreader, it collects mana from nearby generating flora, these things, and pushes it into a certain direction. And that's an alarm in the background. Coincidentally, I place it right the very first time. If you right click it, you get data. Shift right click it, I don't really know what it tries to do. Trying to face opposite from where you're looking or where you're clicking. I don't really know. It shoots little beam into the direction you want it to go. You have a, if you just right click the air with the wand, you get a function mode and a bind mode. If you use the bind mode, leave that right clicking, shift right clicking. This now has a border telling it I want to bind this item and I want to bind it to you. So it automatically arranges itself properly to this little mana pool. And shift right clicking returns it back to the function mode, allowing you to just look at your mana pool or this thing however you want to. Which is a nifty little thing to have. However, as you can see, we're not making a lot of mana at all. And that's a problem. We need to create more. Day blooms are great and all. They do passively generate mana, but surely there are other ways. I believe there was a pretty good one called an endo flame. Maybe. Yes. What do we need for this? Mana petals. That's just dropping them in there. I have no idea how much mana that actually takes. It doesn't really show. So it needs 1 red, 1 brown, 1 light grey, 2 brown, 2 red, 1 light grey. Let's see if we can do that. Brown, red. Let's go for 2 flowers while we're at it. And light grey. It's almost night again. And 2 of these flowers need to go in here. Do we have enough for that? I don't think we do. We do not. Noticeable by the enormous cross in the arrow. Well, that's a bother. Well, it's almost night, so I think I'll just create more day blooms until we can create the ender flames, and I'll be right back. I added a few more day blooms and changed the diluted mana pool with an actual mana pool, because you know, this is one we had, this is one we have now. The difference is you can't really do much with this one. The only thing you can throw in there is another diluted mana pool to make this. So this will actually work. I did have enough mana to give this symbol, but with a cross through it still. But now I can plump, throw it in, take a bit of mana and create the brown mana petal. I made this little system, I can easily tap water. Let's throw this in. This and this and this and this and one seed, and we get an endo flame. So if we grab a bit of charcoal and place down the endo flames, we should be able to, by the whoosh you hear and those green blasts you see, the mana spreaders only shoot mana in bursts. It's not like they have a continuous beam but small bursts. There we go again. If you see, you can see where it shoots, but that's not an actual mana flow. So it's not like the electricity. But if you should drop this on there, it should. Yeah, there we go. Start burning. Or, you know, not. That flower took it. Odd. So, there we go. So both flowers are now burning, creating mana. And you can hear that shooting a lot more often. So it's generating way more mana than the day flowers. And it will take anything that burns, really. But charcoal will work fine. And let me get set up for the next step. Because for Sojourner's Sash... almost. So... there we go. We still need a lot of other stuff. Actually the stuff we still need. So let me get set up for all that and I'll be right back. So let's again take a look at the crafting recipe. The ladder we know of. These two runes seem complicated. Let's start with mana steel. Seems the most simple. We just drop an iron ingot into this thing and we get a mana steel. Fair enough. Now the runes. The runes are a lot more work. Kind of reminiscent of infusion crafting from Thaumcraft, but not entirely. First off, we need something called the runic altar. Yeah. So we need living rock and a mana pearl or a mana diamond. You might have guessed that. That means we need to toss either a pearl or a diamond in here. Considering I have no ender pearls, and apparently also not enough mana, we can't do either of those. Dang it, I should have checked that before, shouldn't have I? So if we throw it in now, it just does absolutely nothing. I'll be right back. Alright, so I have been generating some mana and managed to create the mana diamond. So that should allow us to make a runic altar. Marvelous, it actually works. So let's place this, I don't know, somewhere over here perhaps. But of course, this little contraption also needs mana. And it's not getting any. So we are going to need another one of these. Place it adjacent to the mana pool. And now we'll be able to transfer its mana into this runic altar. Let's continue burning up our charcoal, because we're going to probably need a lot of mana. So we needed an earth and an air. Let's start with earth. Try a mushroom, a block of coal, colored stone or any smooth stone really, and 3 mana steel. Now if I hit that correctly. Let's throw the last 2 in. So I believe you can right click. Yeah. Oh, what was that all about? How did I get a stack of that in my inventory? Put those in. That in, those 3 in, and it should right click it with the wand and you could hear that it starts working. It's shooting out its mana. I hope we have enough, it would be nice. And you see a small particle effect starting up. As soon as it starts lashing out, we know we have transferred enough mana. We can complete it. So if you're familiar with Ars Magica, might actually feel this is somewhat familiar. It looks a bit like the way spells are crafted. And when I hover over it, you can see it's trying to make a rune of earth. So it's mana shooting it in my face. And you throw 1 living rock on it. That's Q. And it should right click again. No. Normal stone. Not like that. No, I thought you should just... Maybe you need to right click it. No, we do not. Oh. Just giving off the particle effects. I thought you needed to add one of those. Ah! Okay, now it worked. We get 3 runes of air, so that's nice of them. And it's time to add the other materials for the rune of air. Need these, need a string, feather, carpet. Did we add a string? We did not, we added a mana steel too many. Oh. No, we don't need the carpet. Shift right clicking seems to take out the last item you put in. Oh, I know what's happened. The inventory manager wanted to help. So let's create the air. Oh, it actually shows a timer. Well, not as much as a timer, but counter for how much mana you already have. That's nice. Do you have? You have a little bit. Oh, you have a bit actually. You're not producing all that much anymore because I stopped feeding the ender flames. Between this episode and the next that we work on Britannia, we'll probably build a structure with all kinds of generating flora. So we add this. And now it works straight away. Well, whatever. So now we should be able to finally craft our Sojourner's sash. We do. Oh. Well, this is another way to get into baubles. Normally you press B, but that conflicts with the map. Oh, I didn't know that was being rendered. I don't think Thaumcraft renders those stuff, or maybe it does. So now we are moving faster and we are walking up and jumping higher. Oh, how I miss this. I wonder if it stacks with the Boots of the Traveler from Thaumcraft. We will see eventually, I guess. However, that was all for today's episode. It was quite a lot, actually. So we started working on Britannia. It's a bit complicated, but just a lot of work mainly. So yeah, there's that. Still, thank you all very much for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next episode.